Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Gail.
And here we are back in Union Station in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the Via Rail Union Station, and we're about to hop on a train.
To Churchill. We're not even leaving our province, but we are going to a world destination.
That's right, straight north, Churchill. It's on the banks of the Hudson Bay, actually. And we're dressed up in our parkas for good reason, because it's still fairly cool here in Winnipeg, but it's even colder in Churchill, Manitoba.
The plan for this video is to take Via Rail's train 693 from Winnipeg to Churchill in a cabin for two. Before we depart, we'll tour the nearby Forks Market to pick up some food for the trip. Once on board, we'll wind our way through the province of Manitoba, veer into Saskatchewan to the west before re-entering Manitoba for a pit stop of up to 5 hours in Thompson. We hope to stretch our legs on a walk in Thompson's town center and pick up some more food. Then it's back on board as we head further north to Churchill. That's the plan, but buckle your seatbelt because this turned out to be a trip chock full of twists and turns. In our next video, we'll spend 2.5 days in Churchill touring this remote frontier town and hopefully taking in a spectacular Northern Lights show. In our third video, we'll return to Winnipeg on Via Rail's train 692, this time in upper and lower berths. Will this go according to plan? I think not.
Well, David and I arrived good and early at the station. It's now 10:25 a.m. We were supposed to be leaving at 12:05 noon, and lo and behold, our train is delayed. Well, when we do embark on the train, we will be going through these doors, up an escalator onto the platform. Now, even if the train were on time, leaving at 12 noon or noon 05, there's still a good chance to do some shopping prior, and it's a good idea to get here early to do that. The Forks is right next door. It is Winnipeg's playground of all sorts of shops and culinary places, and we are going to be buying some food for the trip. And there it is, our destination, the Forks.
The Forks Market is a quick 5-minute walk from the train station, and it's a good place to stock up on food for the train trip. Unlike the Via Rail Canadian, food is not included in our sleeping car fare. It is about 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and the shops are already open. We're picking up a bottle of wine for our private cabin for two or to enjoy in Churchill. Remember, though, you can't consume your own alcohol on the train in public spaces. Next stop is Tallgrass Prairie, well known in Winnipeg for their delicious cinnamon buns. Great breakfast food. And then there's butter tarts from Winnipeg's own Butter Tart Lady. There's a fantastic food court with all locally owned businesses. We planned on buying lunches here to take on the train, but because our train is late, we decided to eat here. It's a lively, vibrant place, well worth the time to visit. Upstairs are more boutiques, including Winnipeg's independent bookseller, McNally Robinson. And if you climb up to the top of the tower, there's a great panoramic view looking over downtown Winnipeg.
So, Gail, we're sitting down here to a very nice dinner. I've got this massive piece of prime rib here, and you've got...
Oh, I've got a 6-ounce steak here that's just smothered in different types of mushrooms. But you know what? This is not train fare.
No, this is not what you get on a train. But we have not left the station. Our train was supposed to leave at 12:05. That's basically noontime. Right now it is 20 to 5. Yes. So our train has been delayed and delayed and delayed, and now it's scheduled to leave at 6 o'clock. So we have to get back to the station by 5:30, and I put 5:30 in quotes right now.
Yeah.
So a little bit of an update on our trip. Just to let you know, the picture behind us here is people that were waiting to board the train in 1910, and they got on their train Unfortunately for us, we're not going to get on our train tonight, or today actually. Our train, as you recall, was supposed to leave at 12 noon pretty much.
Remember, beware the Ides of March. It is March 15th, 2026.
Yes, for sure.
And
And right now it's 7:30 in the evening, and we've just been informed that our train will not be going tonight at all. Our train is basically at the shed, and it was unable to get out of the shed because of freight traffic that is happening on the main line, the main CN line, and freight line traffic takes ultimate priority over anything, including passenger trains. So the train was not able to get out of the yard for the 10 or so minute drive it would take to get here. And on top of that, the engineers, because there was such a huge delay, the engineers basically ran out of time. They basically they run on a 12-hour mandated maximum schedule, and they just ran out of time. So there was no engineers that were available essentially at a certain
to drive
period
the
of time.
2 kilometers.
Yes, for sure. And then also to take us beyond that to Churchill. So the backup plan that's happening now is that we're going back home. They're paying for our taxi back home, how gracious. And then we're going to spend overnight at our house. And then we'll come back, again, taxis paid for, to the station. We're coming back here at 6:30 in the morning to take a bus that will take us to Thompson, Manitoba, where we will rejoin our train, or a train that will then take us up to Churchill, where we'll be able to continue our trip. So welcome to day 2 of our long and winding trek to Churchill, Manitoba.
We're back in Union Station, and it's about 6:30 a.m. We are going to be taking a bus at 7 a.m. from outside Union Station that will take us all the way to Thompson, Manitoba, 7.5 hours away from here.
Thank you.
You folks, right? So lots of space.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Would you like the window, like a double window like this?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a screen here too. I don't know.
Well, we're back
Just
on
sit down
track,
there and-
although the journey is much different than planned. Our route will no longer take us through Western Manitoba and Saskatchewan by train. Instead, we'll be following Highway 6 northwards through Manitoba's Interlake region, which lies between Lake Manitoba and Lake Winnipeg. Via Rail is doing its best to compensate for our travel disruption. We'll be getting a refund for the Winnipeg to Thompson portion of the trip, and they've already stoked us with coffee and muffins on board the bus. All that's left to do is sit back and enjoy the scenery.
Well, it's nice and brisk out here. We are in Ashern, Manitoba. The bus took a stop and led us out here at the subway. Via Rail is paying for the subway sandwiches and the entire lunch. So it's mid-morning, so we'll have this a little later, but I've got a veggie subway, some chips and water, and David has some facsimile. This is Thompson, Manitoba. This is our bus destination where we are to meet our train. And I'm actually crossing the train tracks here, but there's no train. We're told that it will be here in 1 to 1.5 hours, and it will then take us to Churchill. We arrived here in Thompson at about 4 o'clock a few minutes ago. We had left Winnipeg at 7 a.m. It was a very comfortable bus ride, I must say, and really quite pretty going through the boreal forest. Thompson, we're just a little outside of the city itself. It's the 6th largest city in Manitoba. It has about 13,000 people, and it is a mining town and service center. So here we are. It looks a little bit forlorn, but it's as fresh as can be, and the sky is blue.
We've decided there's just enough time to walk to Thompson's town center, about 1.7 kilometers or a 30-minute walk each way. We're heading to the Walmart for some dinner food, but there's also a McDonald's and a Popeyes for takeout food. It's super cold here, at least minus 30 degrees Celsius, but the winds are light, the sky is blue, and the air is crisp. It's a great way to get a quick glimpse of this remote northern city.
Okay. Okay, up you go. Okay.
Chairs are movable as well. So
Yes, there we go. Yeah, okay, that's lovely. Thank you so much.
very welcome.
Welcome to our cabin for two. This is where we're going to be spending tonight, and it's our little private place while we're on the train to Churchill. This will just be a very quick tour of the premises. If you want something a bit more comprehensive, I would suggest that you look at our fuller version on a cabin for two on the Via Rail Canadian, and it was posted in February of 2026. David will have a link to that at the end of this video. Oh, we're getting a little bit rocky here. That's going to be fun. So just very, very briefly, it has the usual accoutrements when you first walk in. There is a closet where we can put our very big coats in this instance because we're going to Churchill, but everything fits, and we'll be able to put our boots underneath as well. To our immediate left, we have the washroom. And this is kind of the piece de resistance of this cabin, that you do have your own private washroom. There you go. I'm going to just put the light on. Oh, off. There we go. We have a sink, our own sink, which has a pull-down counter. It has potable water for when you're brushing your teeth, and your usual lotions and soaps and earplugs. Above, we get the usual amenities, not to keep, but to use while we're on the train, of a big bath towel, soap, and shampoo, because just outside of our door, basically, there is a shower available. This is the daytime configuration, so we have two movable chairs, so you can put them in different positions. Tonight, a little bit later on, or at any time we want, our attendant will transform this into a bed with a bunk above. So that's the bunk area there that will come down. Other features include a fan where you can turn a button and start that. I'm not going to because this is a bit noisy. There's also kind of a ventilator on the other side of the room, which allows for more air to come in, and that is really actually effective. Also on that wall, we have a little box. We have called it in the past a safe, but you know, it isn't a safe. A reader had said to us, you know, in the day when these cabins were built between 1952 and 54, people would put their shoes there and they would be retrieved by staff to shine them. So that may in fact be the case, and that is a bit of cultural history. I think that's it for now. We're going to just sit down and enjoy our oh, listen, you can hear the whistle of the train. We're going to enjoy the ride.
Aside from the cabins for 2, there's also a cabin for 3, which is occupied, so we won't show that to you now. Berths, which we'll show you on the return trip, and 2 versions of a cabin for 1. The first of these is a compact affair with a bed shelf that slides out at night and a toilet that sits in the middle of the room and becomes inaccessible once the bed is pulled out. There's a unique folding sink affair as well. This second cabin is roomier with a bed that folds down. Again, the toilet is not available once the bed is made. There's also coach seating with seats that can be swung around to face each other, and once the footrests are raised, makes for a quasi-comfortable bed. Because our train starts in Thompson and not Winnipeg, unfortunately there is no Skyline car with dome seating. Instead, we have a dining car, much like the Canadian, but without the wonderful food. There is a snack bar with foods for purchase. There's an assortment of sandwiches, snacks, and beverages, as well as some microwaved hot dishes. For supper tonight, we'll stick with our Walmart salads.
Good evening. We are now in our little cabin after supper and watching TV in the dining room. And here we are seeing the night configuration of our room. While we were having food, our assistant transformed the 2 chairs into a lower and upper bunk. So you can see that it takes my 5', 5.5" frame, and it's nice and wide. Very fine linens. They feel cool and smooth. There is a reading light behind me. If I should I wish to read tonight, I'm not sure. I'm kind of tired. And there is the usual leather pouch for glasses and other paraphernalia. So it's pretty well equipped.
So I've got the upper bunk, and I'm going to get up there in a moment. Just to let you know that these, when you're on the Canadian, there's very similar kinds of cars. They are all manufactured in 1954 by the Budd Company in the States. However, there's 2 types of cars that are in regular use. One is the Chateau style car. That's what these cars are. And then there's the Manor cars, and those are the ones that tend to be used on the Canadian between Toronto and Vancouver. So anyways, there's a slightly different appearance to them all. That's why we're sort of getting used to them in a way. I think these cars look a little bit more on the rustic side than our Manor cars on the Canadian, but yeah, they're all showing their age, I guess you'd say. But truly vintage. Okay, I'm gonna head up here. A nice sturdy wooden ladder. The train is rocking like crazy here on the Churchill track. So it takes all your effort to get up here. Not too bad though, here I am. Okay, so as you can see, it's got lots of room up here, just like Gail had down below. You know, I'm 6 feet high, so I've got lots of room, I think, to lay out. Beautiful fluffy pillows here. We have our light just like Gail has. There's a leather pouch just like Gail has. And also on all the 2 cabin for 2s, whether it's the Manor or the Chateau cars, there is this little shelf back here as well. So I can put some of my camera equipment, for example, up here just to keep it out of the way. So it's very nice. I'm looking forward to my sleep. We've had a very long day, long 2 days really. So it'd be nice to get a little bit of sleep before we arrive in Churchill tomorrow.
It's our final day on this odd bus and train journey. Finally, we can dive into those wonderful cinnamon buns we purchased 2 days ago in Winnipeg. Outside, the landscape has transitioned from boreal forests to spare Arctic tundra. The train slowly makes its way down tracks laid on a constantly shifting foundation of muskeg and permafrost. This train is the only land link to Churchill. There are no roads. If you need to get from Thompson to Churchill, you either take this train or you take a much more expensive flight. Our Winnipeg to Churchill train trip was free using Via Rail preference points, but the cash cost would have been $647 per person. By comparison, the cost to fly would have been in the $900 to $1,500 range.
Well, we arrived in Churchill on Tuesday morning at about 11:30 a.m. and you'll have seen our adventure already. Welcome to the Beluga Beach House in Churchill. This is a bed and breakfast where David and I are staying. So let's take a little tour of our accommodations. We enter and we have a large shared kitchen. People can do their own shopping and fill up the fridge and use all of the facilities that are here. Over here we have a dining room. Everything is bright. And this is a bright, crisp day. It was just a 10-minute walk from the train station here in minus 28 Celsius and with the wind chill, minus 30 temperature. So here we'll continue to one of the 4 rooms here. Ours is room number 4. And here you can see our room. There are shared bathrooms just down the hall, 2 full bathrooms. One has a bath, one has a shower, and you can see how comfortable it is. I like this place. Really what strikes me is the decor, the color. There's a lot of driftwood. There's a lot of teal or a muddy blue. That's the color of the ice in the sky here. A lot of white and brown and gray. These are the colors of Churchill.
As you can see, the 2 washrooms are roomy and well appointed. There is also a laundry facility that you can use at your leisure. We hope you enjoyed this crazy train/bus journey to Churchill. But stay tuned for our upcoming videos about, first of all, Churchill and why we think you need to come here, and then our return journey by train to Winnipeg. And yes, it will be just as crazy. If you enjoyed this video, we'd love a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Got comments? We'd love to hear from you.